Hyrule, a piece of prosperity and land, lots of valleys, lots of everything. All was good until the king of Hyrule is dead. Now, taken hostage, the princess herself, known as Princess Zelda. We are digging into our top 5s of this awesome classic franchise, in my opinion, my favorite franchise, like Mario. Welcome to the Legend of Zelda top 5 picks. Take it away, Chad.
Number 5, Lynx Awakening DX for the Game Boy Color. This was the very first Legend of Zelda game I ever played, and I played it at the dentist's office. Yes, our dentist let us play Game Boy games while waiting to go in and get our teeth checked. But the biggest things aside from that bit of nostalgia that I absolutely love about this game is I love the colors in the DX version. They just pop so much. I mean, there's a reason they added the color dungeon in there to exemplify, yes, we have colors. And that is a creative way, I think, to do it. Add more to the game without changing the fundamentals of it. I love the dungeons in this game. Every single one, I think, is a blast to explore. Even my personal favorite is probably Eagle's Tower. I don't know why. I think it's just really cool going through the whole thing with the giant ball, trying to knock down an entire level of the dungeon to drop it back down. But aside from that, the characters in this game are a blast. I love exploring this island and all the different locations, from Animal Village to Telltale Heights, down to Martha's Bay. You name it, I love exploring this island. Also, my favorite thing about this version is the mouse that takes your pictures. I don't know why something so simple and so cheesy is so much fun, but I love finding all the different locations where the mouse takes your pictures. It's just my favorite thing. I love it. I love this game. I hope you guys enjoy it too.
Number 5, The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD Remaster. As much as I love the originality to it that was before the Wii, it was on the GameCube, the controls were clunky, and I was thinking hopefully they can make something better out of it, maybe in upcoming ports and stuff. And we got our wish granted with the Wii U version of it. I still play this daily because I just love the story to it. I love how you go from a wolf to human, to a wolf to human, and the way Ganondorf is pictured in this is just all out amazing.
Number 4, Skyward Sword HD for the Switch. So, I'm talking specifically the remake, like I just said. I do not like the version on the Wii. I cannot get the controls to work. I don't like how it feels. Frankly, I don't even really like how it looked that much. I way preferred the visuals of Twilight Princess over the original Skyward Sword. The way that it looks on Switch is good. It's a lot more cleaned up. I enjoy it. I still prefer, like, I guess the ambiance of Twilight Princess. Whatever. I'm talking Skyward Sword. So the big thing I love about this game it's the story overall. I love how this is a giant prequel to everything we've seen before. I think the only missed opportunity, and I feel this with a lot of games, is there's stuff that they either leave out on purpose or by accident due to time constraints, or they didn't think of it, was when you go back in time in this game, I feel like, oh, it was such a missed opportunity to see this world. Like, they go out of their way to point out, like, the war just happened. I want to see what this world looks like. Is there just destruction everywhere? Is there ancient civilization that we possibly could have looked at? Or maybe they were saving this for a game in the future? I don't know. I still think that would be an awesome game also. A game at some point in the future where we get to actually see the original war with Demise. I think that would be awesome. Hey, make it happen. But for what we got, Skyward Sword, I love it. I love the dungeons, I love the items, I love the music, I love the characters. This is easily my favorite version of Zelda. I love the relationship she and Link have with each other. I like the character of Groose. I like watching his arc through the whole game. Start out as this bumbling nobody, eventually becomes a main character who helps you save the day pretty much. And Demise, everything about him is awesome. I love his design. I honestly hope we see him reincarnated at some point. Done cleverly, maybe. Some kind of like Ganon is released from his curse that he put. I don't know. He's awesome. So is Girahim. Girahim is one of the weirdest antagonists ever, and yet he has such a vibe about him that is so fun and interesting to just watch. The way he acts, the way he transforms over the course of the game. Yeah, there's so much good things to say about this game, and like I said, specifically the HD version on Switch. I honestly tried booting up the Wii version one more time after I got the Switch, and I'm like, I can't do this, and I retired myself from ever playing the Wii version ever again. Switch version all the way, baby.
Number 4, The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker HD Remaster. Again, just like how I felt like about the Twilight Princess on the GameCube, I feel the same way with Wind Waker. The controls, again, clunky, and me thinking, hey, will it work on a port? And yeah, I don't need to explain it because we made it work with the Wii U. The story behind this is everything is flooded. It's nothing but a big sea. There's pirates. There's still moblins around. Ganondorf is a funny-looking, goofy puppet boss, but it was fun to play regardless. One of my favorites. Definitely a classic. I recommend playing it.
Number 3, Majora's Mask, Nintendo 64. For the longest time, it feels like this game was the one that people just looked at and was like, what is this? It doesn't take place in Hyrule. You know, there's no... Zelda herself is not in this game. The Triforce isn't involved in this. What's the moon doing up there? The Skull Kid with the mask. But over time, I genuinely feel like Majora's Mask has earned its spot where it deserves to be and heralded as one of the best because it is. While it does lack in dungeons, and it does compared to most of the other games on these lists, unfortunately, the 4 that we get are all, I think, extremely fun to go through. I enjoy playing all 4 of them for the challenges they offer. I enjoy all of the bosses that they have. But the biggest draw of this game, obviously, is the 3-day cycle and all the side quests. And you know what? I never get bored doing these side quests. I love just popping in the game and just being like, going through the bomber's notebook and being like, all right, what haven't I done? What haven't I started? What do I still have to do? What's done to do it again to get more rupees that I can save up and never actually spend because it's really not hard to get them in this game. Throwing on the Zora mask and going swimming through the ocean, throwing on the Goron mask and just rolling around Clocktown Field. There is just so many layers to this game when it comes to just all the gameplay and all the fun that this game really has to offer. And yeah, there's so many people who are like, oh, there's so much like symbolism to it. I genuinely think a lot of those people are digging a little further than they should. I don't really think this game is loaded with symbolism. I think it's just Link comes to this world and he's kind of got to save it. That's just what it is. Not everything is like this big, oh, he's dead, but whatever. We'll talk about that at a later date. But yeah, Majora's Mask and the N64. Oh, and for the record, I'm talking just the N64. I don't like the 3D remake at all. I think it ruined the bosses, and same as the way I look at Ocarina of Time 3D remake, there is just something about that walk cycle I do not like that they made the change to, but it is what it is. Majora's Mask N64, amazingly underrated classic.
Number 3, The Legend of Zelda 2 Link's Adventure. The Adventure of Link, is one of my absolute favorites. As much as people don't like it because of how the style of the game is, you have to realize if they were to cookie cutter the first one to this one and make it look the same, it would just be the same game with just different aspects. I like how they thought outside the box with this game, and the music itself was beautiful, especially for the Famicom system, which was, in my opinion, superior because of the disc drive that was connected to that system. You have to reunite 2 Triforce pieces and compared to the 1 Triforce piece you were bringing together, and honestly, it's a hell of a adventure. A lot of RPG aspects and a lot of great game.
Number 2, Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons. Yeah, these are 2 completely different games, but you know what? If you use the code that they give you at the end of beating one of them and you tie it into the next, it's literally like you're just continuing your adventure. So And these aren't like a good thing that most people do know is like these obviously are not like, you know, Pokemon like Red and Blue where they're the exact same game. There's nothing similar about these games at all aside from being Zelda games. So to look at them as one giant adventure spread across 2 cartridges, it to me is the fairest way to look at these 2 games. So that's how I'm gonna do it. But what I love about these games, again, the nostalgic for me, I remember as a kid, Seasons was the very first one I got. And it was like the one my parents bought me for my birthday present. They're like, all right, you know, you got the new Zelda game. I'm like, oh, but there's 2 of them. And they're like, okay, well, you can go buy the second one. So I took my birthday money and went and bought the second one. So I beat Seasons, then I beat Ages. And it was like, I remember the first time I beat Seasons, I loved it. It's like, I love when Zelda is able to go creative and take these adventures outside of Hyrule. There's so much more they can do. Like, when they're in Hyrule, they're almost like stuck with the characters that they have to work with. Like, you know, there's got to be the Gorons, there's got to be the Zoras. They introduce, you know, the Ritos in the later games. And obviously there's got to be like the Hylians. But it's like once they go outside of that and go to the Oracle games and start looking at you know, different rules, when you go to this, it's like you can get so much more creative. And even though the Zora and the Gorons were there, there's so much more. Like, my personal favorite characters introduced in all of this are the Sombrosians, the ones who like live down in like what looks like hell, basically, down where like the Chamber of Seasons went down to. It's awesome. And just the way they handled the time travel in Ages, I thought, I mean, yeah, it was simplified, but it's a Game Boy game. I mean, how in depth are we really gonna go with time travel in this? There's not so much you can do, like stuff in the past that really affects the future and all that. I mean, they did what they could. But no, it's like, I love all the dungeons in these games. I like the characters. I like the way it's tied in with Twinrova. I like how Zelda's in it. How each time you beat a dungeon, you get something else to help the Deku or the Meku tree get larger. Just these games are, to me, these are some of the most underrated Zelda games, like, ever. I love playing them, and I genuinely, fingers crossed, hope and pray we get either like a remake or a redo of them somehow on the Switch, but not in that toy chibi looking style that Link's Awakening was on the Switch. Do a new different style, like a full 3D. That'd be awesome. Love these games. They need more recognition.
Number 2, The Legend of Zelda, The Link to the Past. Absolute favorite. Good backstory to it. Lots of hard bosses, enemies, lots of beautiful music as well. The wizard that killed the King of Hyrule, yes, you heard that correct. The king dies, and for a game in the 90s of a kid-friendly Nintendo system, never thought you would hear the words, the king has died, or there'd be death, or something like that, but there we are back in that day. Link rises to unite the 3 pieces of the Triforce to create one, and it pretty much is the same Triforce in other upcoming Zelda games like Ocarina, Majora, I believe. I don't know. But all in all, Link to the Past is always going to be my favorite, especially the boss music and the music in general, the atmosphere and the aesthetics. For a 16-bit game, it's very beautiful.
Number 1, Twilight Princess HD on the Wii U. Number 1, Twilight Princess. Everything about this game I absolutely love. I love the amount of dungeons in this game, and I love the creativity that goes into each and every single one of them. They're all some of the best ones in my humble opinion. Ranging from the Goron mines all the way to the mansion in the mountains, to the realm of the Twilight, to the city in the sky, you name it, all of them are a blast and very inventive in my personal opinion. The story of this game, I mean, okay, yeah, there's been a lot of times where Link has kind of been like, you know, the destined hero, and this was one of them. I do kind of like when he's not destined to be something, but it is what it is. I really love the design of Link in this game too. His outfit, I think, is amazing. The story of this game is actually pretty cool. It almost is kind of like a darker feel in Ocarina of Time, which I really like, because it's like, I like when movies and games go a little bit darker, and they're not afraid to do it. And yeah, Breath of the Wild has some of that darker stuff in it, but okay, the reason Breath of the Wild ain't on this list also is because I do like a story in a Zelda game, and that doesn't have a story. I also like having, you know, dungeons and dungeon progression and different items. And again, yeah, multiple different types of swords aren't the same as having, you know, like 2 claw shots, which, hey, come on, that's awesome. Who doesn't love that? Also, this game has got Midna. She is one of the best side characters you can find in any Legend of Zelda game. She is the snarkiest, she's got the most attitude, she's got the most story to her. And honestly, I still, you know, it's like when it comes to a character like Navi, we never got closure with her. We still don't know what went on with her, and it's like, I don't think we're ever going to. But with Midna, it's like we saw her whole story, and it's like, if we never see Midna again, which I hope we do, but I'm pretty sure we won't, I'm satisfied with that. We got closure to this character who went through a journey, same as Link did. She's awesome. Also, the visuals, I love the way this game looks. It looks so damn good, and it's still crazy to think that this originally came out on the GameCube. That's nuts. Yeah, and the final battle with Ganondorf. By the way, I love how Ganondorf looks in this game, too. I absolutely love this design. And I think the final battle with him is great, going from the giant dark beast Ganon to chasing him through the field, which, again, love that they added that into this. And then the final sword battle. Yeah, everything about Twilight Princess, absolutely amazing game. There's a reason it's my number 1. I literally play and beat this at least once a year. So, guys, I hope you liked my list.
And finally, number 1, I have to go with it, like probably most people will, but you gotta go where credit's due, where it all started. The Legend of Zelda off the Famicom/Nintendo Entertainment System. I first remember playing this game, dying a lot, so frustrated, thinking I was never going to beat this game. Then I had the Nintendo Atlas to show me where to go, what to get, how to get your items, and then when I beat the game, it was so thrilling and stuff like that. But they decided to play us an Easter egg on there and say, hey, your quest 1 is done, here's quest 2. Everything is mirrored imaged and everything is scrambled, and when I beat the second quest, that's when you got the true ending. It was insane. Like, who would have thought that you beat the first quest, you thought it was over, but no, time to play quest 2 and get the true ending. All in all, absolute classic. It will always be my number 1 favorite game to play.